Mike Tyson's come out, okay? And Mike Tyson's weighed in and said, yeah, I'm nervous. It's a big risk. Now, what was Tyson talking about? You see, there's just not really anybody in sport that quite has the effect of Mike Tyson. Would you agree? When you see Mike Tyson, you feel something. And I would argue more so than Michael Jordan. Are you ready for that? And I think perhaps that Jordan doesn't use that media the same way as he could. But either way, for the situation that we're in, I feel that there's no other sports character. I'd have to look to the Hulk Hogan. That might be a good battle. Hulk Hogan, Mike Tyson. Who do you guys feel, get excited, want to see more? It's very, very rare. And Mike Tyson came out. And Mike Tyson is supposedly has a fight with Jake Paul coming up in a number of months. Now, I never really overly believed that, but this interview that Mike Tyson just did made me start thinking, okay, this thing is more real than perhaps a hater like Chael thought it was. Because Mike Tyson has come out and said, I know if Jake Paul fights somebody before he fights me and he loses, I don't get the opportunity. And I really want the opportunity because I think I can beat him. Tyson said, I'm a glory hound. That's all this is about. I have a problem. It's what made me great. It's my strength, but it's also my weakness. And he's right. And he said, I'm just chasing glory. I'm chasing the attention. I want people thinking about me. I want people talking about me. I know exactly what he means. Like, it is one of those things, man. That walk is it just is. And you want to know what Mike never got, guys? And I don't think you've thought about it in this perspective. Mike never got to fight during the social media era. Now, if there's ever an athlete that was made for social media, for a quick clip, 11 seconds, 15 seconds, a quote, a scary picture. If there was ever an athlete made for it, it's him. He didn't live through it. Like, one thing that might surprise you is Muhammad Ali has no records. And I mean none. He hasn't sold more t-shirts than anybody. He hasn't sold more bags of popcorn at a fight than anybody. He hasn't had the live gate attendance. He doesn't have the revenue, let alone the people that have shown up. He does not have a pay-per-view anything. None. Zero. Not in the top 25. Then again, he didn't fight when they had pay-per-view. He didn't fight when they were trying to build up the gates and go into some of the big arenas, right? So do you see where it becomes a very different time? So think of somebody that's an attention slut like Tyson, according to Tyson. Think about how much fun he's having right now. Think about in the world of social media, right? When you're a fighter and you got this itch and there's only one way to scratch it, right? There's only one way. And if everything goes your way, you can get that 3 times a year. Oh, and by the way, that's just the opportunity to make the walk. Think about how good you'd have to beat 3 men in a steel cage fight 3 times a year. Truly. And even if you get one of those or you get 2 of those, how many of those are you going to get? How many of those years are you going to get? And now imagine you have another way. You have another way to get that attention, to get that pop, to get that fan that's giving you the middle finger, to get that guy that's giving you a pat on the back. Imagine that. So it's one of these spots where Tyson has never found himself. I think he's having fun, but I think he's curious. So when he comes out and says how bad he wants that fight, and he said not only does he need the attention, not only is he chasing that and chasing glory, he said it's a problem that I will have for my entire life because I'll never get it. Whatever glory is, whatever that thing is, whatever you, the people, decide is that thing, I'm just trying to appease you, except I think that I haven't yet. I think that thing that I need you to see me do well, you haven't yet seen in your minds. And he's right. Like, if you even just try to follow what I just said, which is quoting what he just said, you drive yourself insane. And it meant something to me. It meant something to me that Mike wants this fight. It meant something to me that Mike Tyson is saying, I want this fight. And he went a little further. He said, Jake Paul can't hurt me. This is what I think. I don't think he hits hard enough. I don't think he can get into the positions. And I don't believe he's large enough. I don't think he can hurt me. And Tyson's letting you know right there. He just lets you know a lot about him. That outcome isn't most important. That what happens on a fight isn't most important. That what's most important to him is getting hurt. Being in there, not having fun. Someone's giving him some shots. They're thudding. They're annoying. It was a real interesting look into Mike's mind, which is one of the more unique minds that have ever been in sport. And he's never completely given that reveal. He used to do interviews and he'd talk about no man can hurt me. I won't let any man hurt me. But that's very different. You're now projecting. You're trying to convince yourself. That's a silly thing. Of course, a man can hurt you. But this is the kinds of things he said. He's talking about Jake Paul, and he said, I don't think he can. I don't think he can get in the positions. I don't think he's a big enough man for what I can take. It was a very interesting interview, and ultimately Mike said, I am worried. He convinced me for the first time ever he wants that fight. It's the first thing that he did. He convinced me that he wants that fight. And he made this fight about something other than money, which has been the huge miss that nobody had. So now they have the answer, and above everything else, he's not resting easy because he's not sure that Paul can get past Perry. And see, I like when people talk about Mike Perry like that. Could you imagine if you're going to the striking arts and Mike Tyson pays you a compliment in the striking arts? I mean, could you imagine? So think about Mike Perry. Mike Perry's some roughneck from somewhere. He puts his then girlfriend, ultimately fiance, and now wife into his corner. He's training with some very good people. I understand that. But not like in a different way than other people are. Like the fact that Mike Perry is the absolute best in the world at a specific sport. He is the face of a company. It's an amazing thing. But Perry's no different than Tyson. He's chasing something. He's trying to scratch some itch that he hasn't done it yet. He's looking for some kind of applause and approval from the audience. And maybe he doesn't have that from the whole audience, and he's got some business in front of him with Paul, but he got it from Iron Mike Tyson. I gotta think, is you're going to bed one night before this massive fight, and you're trying to cling to something and find the confidence somewhere, which by the way, does not happen. I realize that people write that in books and they force it to you. It's not what happens. The opposite happens. The night before, in the locker room before, you are not telling yourself, I have paid the price, I did it, I deserve this. You're thinking, oh my gosh, why did I do more? You start making deals with yourself. Hey God, get me through this one. And I know I only ran 2 miles twice a week. I'll run 5 miles twice a week if you just get me through this one. Not what you think. It's not what you think it is, even with those brave and bold guys. But Mike Perry will have a reason to feel good about himself tonight because he just got a compliment from Mike Tyson.